As the sun set over the Hilltop campus on November 5th, emotions grew weary over the impending results of the presidential election. In the weeks that followed, USF students have reflected not only on their own reactions to the election, but how they plan to stay politically engaged moving forward.
Immediately after the election, I was in a complete shock for about 2 days. Now that I've had a little bit more of a reflection, I'm more just angry, but I'm using it as more of a fuel for myself.
This would have been my first time voting if I had been 18, but yeah, I'm still in a state of confusion, shock, disbelief.
And I'm voting for the right person in this case. But the day after was rough, and I know it was rough for a majority of people in the same boat as me. But now that we're, I guess, a couple of weeks out from it, one of my professors said, now is the time to actually fight. Our fight doesn't stop just because the candidate we wanted isn't in office. It just means we have to work harder and work together.
I'm not too shocked. I, didn't really have any faith in either of the two main candidates. What we've seen over the past few elections is Democrats, further and further going right. And I personally thought it was a big opportunity for mobilization and change, depending on the state you're on. I'm from California and I was voting California, so I knew that my vote towards a third party would be way more impactful in terms of getting, federal funding.
I know in my Latino politics class, we were mentioning that there was no specific targeting towards Latinos for the Democratic Party.
What I've researched on my own is that the key demographics that really made an impact on this election were young Latino men, specifically, who have felt sort of disillusioned with the Democratic Party as a whole.
I think the real conversation that needs to be had is the white woman who voted Republican, which really swayed the outcome of Pennsylvania, Michigan.
We just have to be able to push back on politicians when they do stuff we don't agree with, and policies that we don't need or don't agree with. We can start locally. It doesn't have to be at a national level.
We need to educate ourselves over how these issues will actually affect us, not only on the national level, but locally as well, in terms of mayoral elections and propositions.
In California, a big proposition on the ballot this year was Proposition 6. And, the results show that 55% of Californians are for forced incarceration labor, which was very shocking to me, as well as Prop 36 with the felony offenses for shoplifting and drug crimes. It was devastating to see the outcome.
I really just want to make sure that instead of us feeling really sad, I really want us to use this as kind of like a channel to use our place in society right now, the way that we're looked down upon as women or as minorities or LGBTQ+, and to use that as kind of like a fuel to the fire.
My family came here with nothing, and so seeing how this election will impact immigrants specifically and the Latino community hits so close to home. And while I am very scared for the future, I'm also extremely optimistic in our ability to resist, and so I'm very hopeful. I would describe myself as naively optimistic.
One thing to keep in mind for anyone that's voting, I think, is just do your research, especially with the plan to now destroy the Board of Education and to underfund already underfunded schools. Research what you're passionate about. Get involved. There's so many different avenues of opportunity. If you're really passionate about change and you want to see change in the world, you gotta do your part.